Oh my God. I last interviewed the lovely Tarana Marwa, aka Komurebi, I think back in August, early August, when she had just released Chanda. And she and I connected because we had a very, very personal connect when it came to Chanda. And now here she is. Here's what it is. She's just put out a brand new EP with Curtain Blue called Birds and Bees. She's gone to Austin and she's been part of the Indian lineup at the SXSW 2022 with J Babe, Hanita Bambri, and some wonderful musicians. Not just that, she has three shows lined up in the just announced Prime Video slate. To begin with, there's Modern Love Mumbai, followed by The Heart that has Sonakshi Sinha in it. And also, she returns with the second season of Made in Heaven, which is possibly one of my favorite shows and something which I am personally looking very forward to because I absolutely love Tarana's score in the first season of Made in Heaven. And here she is with the second season. Wow, Tarana, that's quite a handful of an introduction just for you. But then that's how happy I am to put this out there to everyone watching this, that I have been watching your journey from so long as as a fan and as an individual, as another woman. It's just beautiful to see how things are rolling for you in your favor. How do you look at all of this?
Um, I think I'm one of those people who doesn't like it's kind of like a fatal flaw in the sense that I every time something good happens, I'm sort of like always on to the next thing. And I don't usually celebrate the thing that has just occurred. And I'm usually just immediately on to the next thing. So that insatiable need to like progress and move ahead is there sort of within. And I can't say whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, because you need to enjoy good things in life. And I think if the last 3 years have taught us anything, it's that we need to relax and take it easy and take it one step at a time. But yeah, the chaotic workload and meeting all the right people and being in the right place at the right time, and working with some amazing talent powerhouses, and it's been really really good. And I feel like I'm not going to be able to do any justice to what is coming with my words. Like, I'd rather just have the actual releases speak for themselves, and I'm very excited about whatever we're doing in the scoring realm and in the indie realm. So yeah, I'm very excited.
Well, I think you're calling it a flaw, but I think one must absolutely allow you also that because so many of us invest so much time in, just sitting and cherishing and relishing upon the milestones and everything. And sometimes one can almost lose track. So I think it's incredible that you don't allow any of this to affect you. And like you rightly said, you're just on to the next thing. Um, but when one sees all of these, like just happening one by one, it can be a little overwhelming. But just for people who have been following your work for so long, it is also in a way very gratifying to see where our favorite artist is also going. So to begin with, let's come to Birds and Bees, um, an EP which frankly everyone in the independent music space, people who are ardently following it, people who have been ardently critiquing it and writing about the scene for years have been raving about how wonderful Birds and Bees is. And it's your collaboration with your favorite collaborator, Curtain Blue, after the wonderful 2020 single Green Tea. So, firstly, just give us a gist about the experience of teaming up again with Curtain Blue for something so ambitious and so wonderful. Um, how did you decide to join forces again?
Curtain Blue, Abhishek is actually a really, really good friend of mine. Like, we're really close. We have a group of friends in Delhi and we all hang out. It's sort of like family. But aside from that, what I like about working with Curtain is that he's got this left of center sort of strange perspective and strange take on art and his music. And I like to think that whenever I work with him, I can tap into that unique brain space that he has, and sort of like we try and meld together and create something that's sort of different and unique and has a voice of its own. So that's what I like about Curtin, is that he's so unique. And aside from that, he's such a great producer. Like, he's a really fantastic producer. So I learn just by sitting next to him and watching him produce music. And yeah, this Birds and Bees was our sort of take on like, it's spoken, there's spoken word, there's rap, there's like a lot of analog synthesizers, there's a lot of dance, so lots coming in there. And we're also managed by, we're both managed by Isa Ratanpal, who's a
Yeah.
wonderful friend and great manager. So we sort of work together really well as a team. And yeah, aside from that, I mean, I think we both bring out this really fun side of each other, like in our work, because my songs are usually like, when I write on my own, they're usually very sad or serious. And his like cerebral and sort of like melancholic. And when we write together, we're essentially having fun. And I think that's a really cool part of your brain to tap into sometimes, to not take yourself too seriously. So it's been a great journey with him. I love working with him. Yeah.
How do you view the the sort of reception, the sort of warmth that everybody in the indie community has given to Birds and Bees? How do you look at the reception of this much loved baby of yours? Because I will not be surprised if 2022 year-ender list do not, I mean, they have to include this as one of the best works to have come out in 2022. So how do you look at all the love and the warmth that the EP has been receiving?
You're too kind. The people that I really look up to and respect, especially a lot of people in the production electronic community,
Yeah.
like, very happy with the mix and the way the song sounds, like the sound of the songs, and the sound of the EP, and that for me was big praise, because the goal is to sort of get this fat sounding, really full sounding EP out there. And we worked with Kabir and with Ishan, Oaf and Okido.
Yeah.
And what amazed me about it is that, like, even people outside of our little space of like collaboration, like, because normally it's Curtin, me and Gaurav, and we work together,
Yeah.
but even of like tapped into our, like, we matched wavelengths and really sort of like met on the same sonic level. So if you hear their remixes, you can hear that they're also really rich, fat sounding, like really powerful remixes in the electronic realm. So that way the whole EP sort of is very cohesive, and I really like that. I like the sounds, I like the sounds that have been chosen. So yeah.
How do you look at Tanana now that suddenly mainstream is now where artists are getting explored a lot? Because uh, frankly, for a person like me, it surprises me now where suddenly I feel like, oh, everybody is now warming up to independent talent. Everybody is now scouting for music, and now everybody suddenly is everyone is everybody's fan because of hearing their music on mainstream, or because somebody really just kept overusing their music on Instagram. So how you look at this? How do you view this superficial uh, route of recognition now, especially for you as artists? Because I personally know that artists have been doing this for years together. I have actively heard out artists at gigs or at I have heard their music when they were starting out or when they were in the process of making. But then suddenly now with Instagram, with artists now being profoundly heard through shows or through being heard on other affiliates. So how do you view this? How do you view that suddenly there's such a shift in the musical taste of audience? Do you also feel it partially because mainstream has you know become pretty redundant to an extent?
um I'm not sure of like what I feel like a lot of times the information we're fed is information that will sort of align with our outlook, because that's how social media platforms work, right?
Yeah.
Like they'll sell you information or news that they know will work for you. Like you're a target audience for your own space. So I'm not sure where countries really at in terms of like dissing on mainstream and sort of accepting indie. I think indie will always remain on the outskirts of what is acceptable and what is at least. And I don't say this like coming from a prejudiced sort of
Yeah,
like, or like space, like I'm not saying that oh, we are better because we are not mainstream,
yeah,
but we like, as much as we're still not there yet, and
yeah,
I don't that congruence of that's not going to happen anytime soon. It
yeah,
is slowly, people are now paying attention, at least, which is really
yeah,
like, that's a very positive thing, to at least know that, okay, like, where maybe 10 years ago people wouldn't pay as much attention as they are now, thanks to whatever rising platforms there are, or
yeah, yeah,
things like, um yeah, I think it's the more visibility, the more credibility we get, it's better for our careers, and it's better for people to take us seriously, and sort of like, give us the respect that, we sort of need in order to progress and believe in ourselves. But that being said, I'm also like, I don't know, I'm not really like a social media fan. I do it because I have to do it.
yeah.
But I really appreciate all the positives as well. Like, I won't discredit the platform for giving everyone a sort of voice. Everyone
Yeah,
has
yeah,
their own PR agent now, which is pretty cool. Like,
yes.
if it's done, right, it can really do wonders with that. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Let's come to Modern Love, because it's beautiful. Like, I was just watching the lineup on of of the talents associated with this, and firstly I felt proud because while one friend I know has written an episode for it, there are also these wonderful musicians that I have been following, and I feel I also know them personally to an extent, and they are all associated with this. So I was very, very happy to see your name. There's Kamakshi, there's Sameer Rahat, there's Ankur Tiwari, there's Gaurav Rana also, and everybody is associated with this project. And I just uh, came to that space where I had to put a shout out and say too many wonderful people and brilliant people I know who are associated with this. So firstly, I want to know, Tarana, that how did Modern Love Mumbai fall into your kitty? How did that happen? I believe you're doing an episode. I think it's Alankrita's story that you are, lending your music to. So how did that happen?
So Alankrita, one of, like, I love Alankrita's work and I love her as a person. She
Plus one,
actually directed. Yeah,
plus one.
she's amazing. Got this really unique take on feminism and like on
Yes.
women, and tries to put the spotlight on Indian women and their
Yeah.
journey. I really liked her. Like, she basically directed Bombay Begums, which
Bombay
was our
Begins.
last
Yes.
project.
Yeah.
Yeah, so after touring for Bombay Begums and working closely with Alankrita, we sort of developed a relationship where we all feel comfortable with each other. Like, our team feels very comfortable working with Alankrita. Gaurav and Alankrita have a relationship,
Yeah.
uh, and Alankrita knows me. So once you bond and sort of like sync that way, then it becomes easier to do more collaborations and more work together. So the first episode of Modern Love Mumbai is directed by Alankrita, and
Yeah.
that's how we got the. And then working with Kamakshi and Ritvik is actually one of the newer additions in our team, because we wanted someone who can play, a multi instrumentalist who can play guitar and bass, and he added a lot of his
Wow.
own, yeah, through those instruments. And Kamakshi I've worked with forever. Gaurav is very, very close to Kamakshi as well. So yeah, we all sort of came together, and Kamakshi is specifically for one of the songs called Yade
Yeah.
from one, and Ritvik, Gaurav and I have done this score for episode one. So it's a very unique. It's sort of in the same space as Made in Heaven and Bombay Begum. It's a very acoustic meets electronic score. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure. I mean, these collaborations also are so successful because it's always coming from a very, very personal space where all of you have known each other, all of you have watched each other's back over the years. So, and I think that pretty much sums up also as to the wonderful vibe that you shared with all the other musicians who were a part of the SXSWO tour. That's also a huge milestone to have happened earlier this year for you. So do you want to quickly tell us about what went down in Austin with J-Babe, with Hanita, with everybody who were there with you on the tour?
It was really fun, like it was like there was this atmosphere, like this energy in the air, and you could feel it because every bar slash restaurant had like an artist performing inside, and like different artists from all around the world and different all sorts of genres of music. And then we were sort of repping the Indian team, so we were keeping tabs on each other, and we knew exactly where the other person was and tried to run and make it in time for everyone's performance. And at the same time also made sure to have fun and hang out together, drink together after performances, go for meals, have authentic barbecue, Tex-Mex, and it was just a whole lot of fun. The showcases and gigs went really well as well. I love Austin because it's sort of the weird sister out of the three, like Dallas, Houston, and Austin in Texas. So Austin is the weird one, and it's accepting of art and slightly left of center. Like it's very open. It's a very modern part of Texas, and the people you meet there are very intelligent and creative, and there's a community of like youth and artists, and it's not just music. Like there was a gaming expo, there was a lot of art, like different kinds of there were museums, there were like I went for like I went for like an exhibition for one of my favorite for Daniel Johnston, basically for one of my favorite artists. And it was a whole, I don't even know where to begin with that. Like it was a very, very beautiful experience as a foodie, as a musician, as a friend, like just being with my friends in a different country, hanging out together. So it was great fun. And yeah, I think we're all going to sort of remember this year, um, for that reason, and sort of like the fact that we were repping our indie scene, like waving our Indian flag in a different, yeah.
Tarana, what's been interesting for me as a person on outside the scene, as an outsider to watch, to view the scene. What's been interesting for me is, um I don't know if we are there yet, but I think we can safely say now that indie women musicians, indie women artists are now out there. I think there is a lot of space for everybody. Everyone is getting their fair share of limelight. They have a fair share of spotlight under the sun. Do you think we can now we have now reached that stage where we can actually say this with confidence, or do you think there's still a lot of work in progress?
I think it's a work in progress. I'm really happy with like the attention that is being given to very deserving and talented young women
Yeah,
in our scene. But there's a long way to go there. Like we all need to be better. We all need to work harder. Not to cast down anyone or
yeah,
any body of work that's come out, but I feel like there's a lot more improvement to be done in terms of reception and delivery. Like
yeah,
both, we keep raising the bar for one another, and we have to
yeah.
keep doing that. And then maybe there will come a time where we can all successfully, like, look back and say, okay, we did something. Like, we made a change, we made a wave. Yeah.
Well, like I said at the start of the interview, Tirana, of course, there's Modern Love Mumbai, but you also have The Hard and the second season of Made in Heaven too. I'm sure it's very premature for you to reveal any further details about your association with the other two projects. But if you could just give us a fair idea about what can we look forward to in the soundtrack for the other two projects.
The Hard is one of the most interesting soundtracks I've ever scored. I'm saying that like I've done 57 scores, I've done three. But one of the most interesting palettes we've chosen to use, our influences, the experience altogether. It's electronic meets Rajasthani music, like folk Rajasthani music. So it's very raw,
Wow.
but dark and electronic. So I'm actually very proud of what we've done for the Hard, and I feel like we've given this, the cyanide Mohan, the main character, the serial killer of our show, we've given him a voice, like we've given evil a voice. So I'm very excited for the audience to tap into that. And Made in Heaven was a very beautiful journey. It was our first project, together, and we've become quite attached to Tara, Karan, the characters, and it's a very different kind of score, but it's also something everyone should look forward to, and we look forward to getting back into. Yeah, and love all the people on board, all the people we work with, Saskia, Ritvik, Kamakshi, the directors that have had faith in us, like, and really give us that space and leeway to sort of give our own input. It's important, to let, like, it's really important to be in a space where artists and directors can have a back and forth that is easy and sort of like receptive, and sort of accepting of one another's ideas and lifting each other up rather than fighting with each other. And I think we've, luckily, safe to say, we've had like a really good experience with all the directors we worked with. Zoya was lovely, Nitya, Reema, Alankrita, they're all amazing women. So
I think Tarana, it's fair to say that, like you rightly said, you're not one to like really indulge in, in the paraphernalia that follows all of this, and you really like to keep moving on to the next thing. So we really cannot wait for what you have next up your sleeve, because like I already said, I'm very excited to know what both the three projects that you are associated with this year on the Prime Video slate entails, and for all the wonderful music that you have coming our way up, besides Birds and Bees. And like I said, if 2022 does not mention Birds and Bees in their list, I'll be bummed. So I do hope that all the wonderful, all the love and all the recognition comes your way, because you have been at it and you've been doing it so judiciously, and so you've just been at it. You've been just at it relentlessly, and I just hope that all the wonderful things keep coming your way. Thank you so much for talking to me on VJ's Playlist, Tarana. All the very best.
thank you so much for having me, and there's more music coming out this year. Don't worry about it.
I'm all for it.